Hi, I'm Samuel, and my project will be based on this really short, it's not funny, I thought it was hilarious, but it's not funny, comic that I did a while ago about a monster who eats people, but he also has social anxiety. The working title for this piece is Fiends. That's also not very funny, but I think it gets the point across. I'll think of something better later. And the goal for this piece is to create an aesthetic that applies classic horror imagery to a more relatable kind of story about um, a man or a monster uh, striking out and finding himself. So we'll go into the visual direction that I've chosen. So for the visual direction of this piece, I was really interested in things that straddled the line between appealing and unsettling. I went through a lot of a few different designs of, well, not designs, like I went through the bodies of like actual animals and picked apart the things I liked, the things that struck that balance for me. Some other illustrations from Dark Souls and this guy that's on the internet. Also, the artwork of Margaret Keane had that kind of, it struck that kind of balance for me as well. And the graphic novelist Emily Carroll, highly recommend. If no one's ever read her stuff, then you should. But there's also more like everyday stuff. Like I think these really gross cat clocks and hospital rooms strike that same kind of balance between appealing and different and unfamiliar that we don't like that I was going for. So this is my working design for the monster. His name is Malcolm. Of course, he's always open to change, but I'm happy with where I've landed right now. Of course, the goal is to create a character who will look appealing enough that the audience can relate to him, but also scary enough that we can, excuse me, believe that he is a full-time monster. Um, I did for a while wonder if he qualified to be a creature or a character, and I ultimately think character because he needs to convey the full range of human emotion. But I did need to do some sketches on his and figure out his anatomy, which is something I will get into in the final thing. Of course, when I was designing him and going through his many iterations, I felt what was really beneficial was to do the way he started, and I just drew some really dumb cartoons with him, which was just a really good way to spend time with this character and figure out who he was and how he moved and how he stood and stuff like that. So Malcolm's library is in the middle of a vast marshland. That's not. I'll be doing the interiors, so that doesn't really matter, but it's good to know just in case it comes up. I'm going to be taking a lot of visual inspiration from Edinburgh Central Library and other Gothic architecture, but that was a really big draw for me. There are three interior locations that I'll be trying. I haven't decided which one I like enough to render yet, but we have the official library where he kicks about and hunts for the people he wants to eat. Then we have the basement underneath, which is like an indoor pond for him. He's an amphibious creature, so he needs to be wet often. And then we have his innermost sanctum, where he has these big sacks of like paper mache book pages, and the implication is that that's where he keeps people, kind of like a burrowing spider, where he wants to eat them. I wouldn't go so far as to like actually show like a decomposing body inside a sack of paper, but I designed that was the reason I designed this paper material, was to apply it for this kind of thing. I struggled a bit with coming up with what his prop could be because, well, he's naked, but for a little while I was thinking about this brooch here. I did a 3D model of it after I designed it, which I thought could be like his um, official token to prove his like certified monsterhood. I don't think that would be complicated enough to in the form of 2D to draw. I know it's not even really complicated enough for 3D. It is a cool design though, just not for this. I might include elements of it. But what I think fit the tone a little better was if Malcolm has this Cthulhu style monster worshipping cult that gives him human offerings, that would have the same kind of emotional impact on him as getting a takeaway. So I am looking to combine somehow like a one of those Catholic style altars I'm not Catholic, but yeah, what I'm going for. One of these altars with the shape of a takeaway container. I haven't hit the nail on the head quite yet, but I do like a lot of direction this is going in so far. I especially like what I did with the Chinese takeaway container. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything I have so far. That's my pitch, this thing. Yeah, the end.